in the blink of an eye, we're in the week 3, looking at our second home game. And if you really do just a quick recap of the previous 2 weeks, just haven't played our brand of football. You look at it, we turned the ball over 7 times. We've taken it away once. Staring down a turnover margin of -6 through 2 weeks, and that's just a recipe for ending with a lot of tallies on the right side of the column. And so, we're just trying to find a way to create some good daily deposits into the fundamental bank of securing the football and finding ways of taking it away and just playing our brand of football. And, we don't have to do anything different. We're always going to be process-driven over results-driven, and we firmly believe in our process and how we're doing things here. And with that, we'll find ways to come out of this thing with a W. And, you know how it goes in this league. More games are lost than they are won. And we definitely haven't helped ourselves out in the past 2 weeks of finding ways to win the football games, although we're still looking at a point differential of 9 points. And we've managed to turn it over 7 times. And so what we're doing, we're on the right track. Obviously, we just have to protect the football, and we got to be able to take it away. And, the untimely penalties can't happen. We just got to continue to find a way to find those niches and ways to impact the football game in a positive way.
How do you coach Brandon Powell on that return? Because it was a nice return, and then
Yeah, that was just a good play turned bad right there, and actually ended up being Brandon Powell's first ever fumble in his career, collegiate, high school. And so it took a toll on him there. But we're always coaching secondhand cover, especially going through traffic. But he had big eyes on what he thought was just really just a punter and how he wanted to set that up. And at that point, he's thinking of touch and paint. And it's always a guy that you don't see that shows up to end up kind of punching and taking the football away. Heck of a play made by their guy Evans right there. And, BP just got to understand and know, because he did end up breaking the tackle before he got hit by that player. So he's just got to understand and know he's got to have secondhand cover when he's going through traffic like that.
When it comes to Ryan Wright, just seems like he's been punting very well. I mean, I guess, is there a development curve from year 1 to year 2 that you've seen with him?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest thing is with him is just understanding and knowing we've moved on from being, focusing on directional punting to more so walking lines is kind of how we're kind of framing it, and him having to be this sniper is kind of what we call it. He's got to be that elite guy that's really, really good at his job that makes everybody else's jobs a lot easier. And so when you're able to paint the sidelines and get good direction that matches the distance with the hang, it makes it easy for guys like Speedy to show up to catch and tackle guys right there. But you look at the development of Mr. Wright, he's done an unbelievable job of really locking in and understanding what his job responsibility is and how we got to basically find consistency in our drop, calming our feet in the pocket. And you look at last year, he was kind of in and out, a little inconsistent in his footwork and how he went about punting the football. And so we kind of got that cleaned up. And now he's finding some good, true consistency. He's got a good vision spot of where his line is and where he's trying to hit the football.
What does that phrase mean? Refer to walking lines?
Walking lines is just the line that he walks, basically. So let's say he sees a spot maybe, 40, 45 yards down the line, and maybe it's the tick marks on the sideline. And so the idea is that he's trying to walk that exact line 40 yards down the field of basically what that vision spot is. Maybe it's a Norseman that's sitting in the stadium, and so he sees that line, and he's walking directly down that line right there where he's trying to
put it exactly where he wants it.
Correct. Yeah.
Matt, how would you assess the play of, you mentioned Speedy, your gunner so far?
I would say it's been pretty good. Obviously we can always clean up just in terms of finishing on the ball carriers there. I do think we kind of gave up a little bit too much yardage against Tampa Bay. But overall, I would say that we're playing pretty well on the outside at the gunner spot, and Speedy continues to excel and continues to feel his presence on the snap in, snap out basis, whether it's winning on double teams, down in footballs as soon as they're catching it right there, or nipping at the heels that ends up forcing the returner to have to brace. That results in Troy Dye smacking them and forcing the fumble right there. And so we're just out there trying to find a way to play good layup football, right? Mr. Hang Mr. Right hangs it and bangs it, and with that, the gunners cover it. And ideally, you want those outside pieces making all of the plays, and for whatever reason, if the core or the interior core are making plays, well, quite frankly, I think that's a problem.
Man, what do you think of Darius Davis coming out and then what he's done in his first 2 games?
Yeah, Davis is really, really, really good. He's got great first step burst, really good explosion. He can attack you vertically. He'll test your edges. He can accelerate really, really quickly. I thought he was really one of the elite returners coming out. You look at what he did in the preseason against the LA Rams, where he's able to set guys up. He shows great patience in the hole. He's got really good vision. And so, I told the guys this will be one of our biggest tests this season. Really as you look at it going into week 3, just a guy who has an aggressive mindset, wants to return them all, can attack you vertically, can test your edges. He's got good speed, good vision, ability to break tackles. And so, we got to do a great job of swarming that guy.
Is he hard to spot? It can't be more than 150.
He can't be more than 160 max. But that's all a part of it. We got to do a great job of really understanding the leverage that we have to have on this guy, and great communication within our punt coverage. Understand nobody can get vertical on us.
Matt, with the onside kick, Greg did like an outside foot thing, try to spin it. What did you like about that?
You had the watermelon kick there on the onside, and really what ended up happening there, Will, is Greg actually hit the ground before he actually hit the ball. So that's kind of what threw off the timing and really the result of the kick of what we were really trying to get out of that. We worked that weekly, hitting that same ball at least 20 times, and never has he hit that one. And so that was just a kind of anomaly and a little one-off there. But obviously that can't happen there. We got to give our guys an opportunity to be able to recover that football, and we just didn't get it done when the team needed us.
It was supposed to bounce higher, basically.
No, it wasn't necessarily supposed to bounce higher. Just the direction in which it was supposed to go. It was supposed to be a little bit more of a slow roller and kind of curve from kind of inside out. But we just didn't get the result that we wanted on that one, just because he ended up hitting the ground before he hit the football.
Matt, with what New England did the other night, where they run the guy in on a field goal block, is that a novel concept? Do you think that'll catch on?
I do. If you see something unique and something creative like that and it works, I would imagine that you probably see it show up mostly in the collegiate level, and then it'll probably trickle into our league. But unbelievable play and timing by Schooler there, really, because they attempted to do it earlier in the game. The timing of it was just a little bit off. It's really the biggest thing is just the timing. That's the biggest key there. So you got to find a way to how can you kind of throw off your timing from a field goal standpoint, just so those guys don't have a beat on it.
How often are you watching around the league or college? And
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. That's what makes my night so long. Is staying up, just trying to see what's going on around this league, because you always have to be aware and understand of what's going on around the league, what guys are doing, what the trends are. Because again, it's a copycat league, so like you say, you'll start to see the creeper coming in from the field goal block, and you got to understand and know how you want to attack it and how you want to protect it.
Speaking of that, I think you guys had 1 kickoff return this year, and
Yep.
the league average is like 10, 15%. Is that about what you thought was going to happen with the new rule this year?
Yeah, I would say I think it's really still pretty spot on for the most part. I mean, you look at it, I think there's been 1 fair catch through 3 weeks. Outside of that, you've seen a little bit more higher percentage of touchbacks, but that's just a little typical at the beginning of the year. As the year progresses, I'd imagine that the returning of footballs will increase. I mean, kickers' legs are going to start getting tired. Cold weather is going to start playing a role in it. The ball isn't going to travel as far, and so I would imagine that the returns will increase as the season continues, just based off of those elements of the game.
Matt, Ryan Ficken was here, and the Vikings special teams was good under him. It seems like they've improved over there. Is there a staple of what he does well to coach up his special teams?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when you look at a Ficken special teams unit is they do a great job of understanding. I think he really communicates clear job responsibility. He doesn't really like to move guys out of positions. So they're able to find some good consistency working with one another. You see a unit that's got really good chemistry. They do a great job of communicating, and they just play really good, sound football. Don't really commit a lot of penalties. You don't see any tugging, grabbing. They block really well. They got great coverage lanes from a kickoff and a punch standpoint, and they're just really just fundamentally sound. And so, I've been preaching to those guys that we really got to be on top of our game from a fundamental standpoint, and just kind of understanding what we can expect from them, and who those matchups will be, because it's unlikely that they'll move or change. Cool. Appreciate y'all.